That computer's not on anything, I don't believe.
Nope, nope.
In a little bit, I'll reach out to, if I'm 5 of, I'll reach out to Lenny.
All right, I just heard from Lenny. He couldn't find the email, so I just resent it to him.
Okay. Hi, Chief.
Hey, Fred, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Hey, Rich.
Richie, you're on mute at the moment. They did some job up there today. Rich?
He's unmuted. I don't.
Okay. They did some job up the reservoir today, Richie.
Still can't hear you, Rich.
We'll figure it out.
Can't hear you, Denise.
Richie! Richie, I forgot what you look like, Richie! Denise, you got it? Denise! I think you're muted.
No, I don't think so.
No, he's not muted.
Well, I can't hear them and they're talking.
I know.
I understand that.
Try the volume button, Denise. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Claire, how are you?
I got a call late last night
You did? Not for me.
from one of your guys.
Uh-oh. I didn't hear.
Yeah, it was all good.
Okay, good. You just checking on you?
They were checking on a missing girl that wasn't missing.
Oh. Well, that's good. That's,
She met a boy.
That'll do it.
yep.
Hey, Jim,
Or
it's
vice
Pizzetti. How are you?
versa.
Joe, how are you?
I love that. I love that employee of the month.
Thank you.
Can we ask Freddie, maybe we can recognize them at the workshop meetings or the town board meetings? Like, you know,
Yeah, I can always,
come, but just
Yeah.
read their name, like this month's, you know, maybe a little blurb of what the award's about and just read their name every month. I think it's worth it.
sure. I did it just so the public can see all the members who they don't normally see. And, you
I
know,
love it. I love it. But I think we could, you know, acknowledge it. Maybe we get other departments to follow suit.
sounds good.
What do you think, Fred?
I like it. Good for morale.
Yeah, good job. You're taking everything to a new level, Jim. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
How's Richie make it out?
Still, I'm gonna call Denise.
I'm gonna call Lenny.
Fred, Mike's not going to be here, I don't believe. He's got a family obligation.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Hey, he can do the call-in number and be on video too. I'm not sure what the problem is because he's not muted.
Okay, do you have the call? There's a
Okay.
call-in number
All
on
right,
the link. So I'm just gonna put you on speakerphone.
Are you a member of any
Yeah,
professional?
Hey,
yeah.
mommy,
I don't have that in front of me. You're gonna have to, you have to.
I am a
Okay,
member
hold
of
on.
the Press Association of Essex Science.
Hey, shoot,
Okay.
I'm just
Mute
joining
it.
the meeting, but I don't have the video on. Susie, you can mute.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Hi, sweetie.
All right, I got him muting me. Mute. Oh no, wait.
Sorry, Susie, I just muted you.
I got Lenny on speakerphone.
Fred, did Lenny not get that email again with the link?
He's having issues with his,
Okay,
he's having issues not with his computer. He's got to go to Verizon with his phone. Something happened to his phone, so he can't get there till Friday morning.
okay.
But he's here. Lenny, Joe said Mike may not very well not be on the call. He's got some personal stuff. In about 2 minutes, we'll go live.
Caller number 2, can you identify yourself? Just your name, first name.
Well, if you're referring to me, this is Adam.
Oh, okay, Adam. Your number's not showing up.
Oh, I'm sorry. It should be. It's not restrictive.
Okay. That's all right, I got you.
Okay.
Hi, caller number 3, can I have your name?
This is Mark Reynolds.
Hi, Mark, how you doing? Here we go.
Thanks.
Sean on yet?
Not that I see.
Okay, I got Anthony on, and I don't see Ally on yet either. Did you speak to Ally today, Anthony?
Yeah,
He's
this is
trying to
Ali.
dial in right now. He was,
He's
Yeah, I'm
caller
on.
number 4, Ali, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay,
We're at, just when we get the meeting started, Ally, we're gonna take you first, just so you know.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, same man as you.
Okay, it's 4:00. Lenny, would you lead us off with a pledge of allegiance to the flag?
Yes, I would. You. I pledge allegiance to the flag of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Welcome,
Len.
everybody. Per our special meeting last week, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Sean. Anthony?
I do not see Sean on yet.
Anthony, you want to bring us up to speed where we are with Ally today? Anthony?
okay, so I got an email from Ciro Antarante, who is an architect from Poughkeepsie. I know Ciro, I've worked with him. He's a very good architect. Ally has retained him to do the drawings for the building. So
Okay.
I called and talked to Ciro yesterday, and he is in the process of doing drawings to rebuild the wall and restructure the building. So
Okay.
the work is in progress.
So as far as we're concerned, we're underway.
Anthony, did they give a time frame of when they'll be able to start the work, when the drawings will be done? Anthony?
So Joe, he's going in and out, Joe, his connection.
Of,
I think he just hired,
Just jump back on.
I think he's just hired him.
Right, but did they give a ballpark when they believe they'll be able to get a
I don't know if we have that information yet. I'll make sure that when we get a hold of Anthony and Sean, we get that, we should have that no later than our regular meeting in 2 weeks.
And Freddie, what's the status of the road? Because I drove down, it wasn't closed. Is it closed now?
Oh, no. Well, first thing Monday morning, because Richie was, he didn't have full staff on Thursday and everybody was off Friday. First thing Monday morning, it's barricaded like Route 84.
Wonderful, thank you.
So we're all set. They were like first thing out of the box Monday morning. So Anthony, can you hear me?
yes, I can.
Okay, so Joe's question was a timetable. So hopefully in 2 weeks,
Hey,
when we
Sean.
have our regular meeting, we're going to be looking for a timetable from Ally.
I will resend it.
And Ciro indicated to me it's probably going to take him a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
no,
by
from me.
the time he gets
Monday morning.
his all done.
I'll resend it right now.
Margaret, you're coming over everybody.
You gotta mute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I guess we'll keep us posted for 2 weeks.
Yes. Ollie, are you on the phone?
Yes, I'm on the phone.
Ollie?
Yes, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
We can
hear you,
all hear
Ollie.
you. I don't know if Anthony can hear you.
Anthony's out
We
again.
were starting to meet.
He's gone.
Ollie?
Okay, can I speak?
Sure.
Okay. First and foremost thing, thank you for barricading the road. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. I also want to thank Anthony for referring me to Ciro Entrante, and I paid him a retainer, and he's going to start work. We're going to get this done in the stipulated time. That's what he told me, and see what we can do from there.
So what we expect from you, Ally, is in 2 weeks at our regular board meeting, we'll reconvene with you and you can give us or supply us with some type of a timetable that the work will commence within.
Absolutely.
And you might, just a recommendation, you might want to start looking at contractors too, even though you don't have your plans, but just lining up contractors. So once you have
Who
the
is this,
plan.
Lenny? Is this Lenny?
No, this is Joe.
Joe, yes. I'm also looking at contractors to demolish and remove the structure that is compromised. We're going to get this done. Don't worry. We're going to make it within the time. I'm on it. There is no, I don't have any encumbrances. I got the money. We'll get it done,
I know you
Good.
will.
So Anthony, I'll reach out to Anthony and then Sean to just let them know where we are as of today with
Anthony posted
Ally.
personally, and also Ciro will keep him posted too.
All right, so we'll see you at our next meeting in 2 weeks, right, Ally?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'll be there in 2 weeks. Just please let me know the day. It is going to be a Wednesday, right, on 4 o'clock.
No, I mean, it's 7.
No, it's at 7 o'clock.
It's 2 weeks from 2 weeks from today at 7.
2 weeks from today at 7. So the 14 days from today, Wednesday at 7. Probably 21st, you mean?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes, this is the 21st.
Of April. Okay, I'll see you then.
Good. Thank you very much, Ally.
Welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for all your help.
Okay. Just for an announcement. Okay, thank you. Just for an announcement, we have a shred event that we've advertised, which will be Saturday here at 10 o'clock, April 10th from 9 till noon. Free, everybody's welcome. We've run this often before, and it's a good way to get rid of your stuff. Anyway, reports. You've got, I'm not sure if Andrew is on.
Yes, he's there.
Andrew, would you like to start off with your dog report?
Yes, I would like to. Thank you. Okay.
It's all yours. You got the floor.
Sorry, bear with me just a second. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. This is the monthly report for March 2021. We received a total of 12 calls this month, including 3 calls to service from the New York State Police and Ulster County Sheriff. Responded to 2 active complaints or cases which are now closed or resolved. We currently have 0 open cases and complaints. There were no dogs impounded this month, and there were 0 appearance tickets issued this month. We've been making every effort to limit contact with the public because since the COVID started, and we're also trying to, whenever possible, resolve issues without issuing appearance tickets. Just the court has been so overwhelmed. There was a higher number of dogs running at large reported this month, which always comes with the warmer weather. But I would like to urge residents to please keep their dogs physically contained when they're outdoors, and please not leave your dogs outside when you're not home, because that's one of the biggest problems. Is we get a call for a loose dog, we know where the dog lives, and the owner's not home to bring their dog in and not aware that they're loose even. Also, what I'm trying to do seasonally with the wild animals is try to add a little bit to the report as I did this month, and that's I would like to remind residents that most of the hibernating bears have already woken up, except a handful of females who will be coming out of hibernation by mid-April with their new pups. And as we know, bird feeders and garbage are a source of food for these hungry bears. And just please use caution when you enter and leave your house if you're in an area that frequently has bears, or even not, just because most bear-inflicted injuries with accident walk out the door, they walk too close to these bears and their cubs, and that's the same with dogs. You know, they accidentally happen upon the bears, and we've had a number of dog-bear incidents in the Gardner area over the years, and but it could happen here too. All right, and that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thanks.
Andrew, thank you very much.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Just under finance, a quick note. Now that the first quarter has ended, Kendra is working on a year-end report that we hope to have if hopefully by our next regular meeting. And that'll bring us up to speed with where we ended up last year with, we ended up well in the blue, fortunately, but hope to have that report. Do you have the assessor's report from Ian? I don't think Ian is on. It's pretty detailed as to what we're doing. And as you all know, in our budget last year, because we couldn't do any reassessment last year, there's money in this budget, and Jen will start in the fall, so that the town always stays at what the county would like us to be at 100%. We have never fell under 97%, which I believe is where we are now, but that'll start in the fall, commence in the fall, and will end in the spring. Because if you get down under 90 and start to go below that, it starts to tip the bells and whistles, and it could actually cost the town upwards of $250,000 to do a full reval. So we're looking forward to that in the fall. Dave, building zoning, please.
Right, you did a good job for the assessor. You should do mine too.
No, I'm not going to turn into you. That's never going to happen.
Yeah. So, regardless of what any of the local papers might report on, the real news this last month was that there was a significant fire in the Rockland County, which completely incinerated a nursing home there. My office coordinated with the police chief and the fire chief, alerting them that some of the residents from that facility were moved to the 19 Grove Street. Anthony and myself and Elaine had met with the owners of that building prior to that fire to get them to come to compliance with some of the fire safety issues that we've had with them for a while. Happily, I got their attorney involved, who I have a good relationship with. The new side of the building has a temporary CO, and it's pending some of the other work that they have to do for the other side of the building, the old side of the building. As the town board knows, I emailed you when that happened. I emailed you the residents were moved, and then I also let you know that due to the Department of Health They moved in and the residents were moved right back out. They didn't get permission from the Department of Health, didn't get permission from anybody, including my department, to move in. So those residents are now back in Rockland County. As you know, one firefighter, one volunteer was killed, and one resident was killed. It's serendipitous and unfortunate. That firefighter's last name, I'm sure you're all aware now, is the name of our town, Lloyd. So anyway, I wanted to kind of bring you up to that. That was sort of the big hit last month. It took my department about 48 hours of running around, working with Department of Health, to kind of get things situated. So we have a good plan going forward. Just recently, my office handled an illicit discharge behind Sunnybrook. We worked with Adam and his crew, and they found the discharge point. It was into a sanitary sewer. They found the discharge point, and now I think it's going to fall to my department to help the water department or the sewer department find some resolution to it. There is a facility that's discharged to the sanitary sewer, and we're going to make them do some things so that the stuff they're putting down into the sewer doesn't get further down, and they'll have to manage it themselves. Just so you all know, in the next few weeks, you're probably going to see some language on Mountainside Woods. They're getting sort of geared up to dedicate at least some of the roads, and some of I'm going to talk to Richie tomorrow, and Sean is going to, I sent Sean some information today. They're going to rebond some of the new work for Part 1B, which is the new piece that they're moving into, because that bond is coming due, and we need to get them, we need to make sure that we maintain, some protection via the bond for the work that the town, is requiring for the developer to do. So, as most of you know, some of you have attended, we recently had secret meetings with the planning board to discuss 2, and then last night, part 2 and 3 of the seeker stuff for the villages. Those have been lively, to say the least. But I think we've got some good headway. I think the boards are kind of coming to a place where they, or at least, it's happy. I'm happy that they're talking still, so that's a win. And the last piece I have tonight, there's some, Freddie, as you know, and you've reported before, there is some infrastructure money coming.
Yes.
From, and I know Schumer's office put out a blurb on that. I'm going to formally now request the town consider taking about $45,000 of that and upgrading Municity to Municity 5, which is a cloud-based program. It would have come in handy last year because we were mostly working remotely. We would, in the beginning of COVID, we would work from home, then go to inspections, and the phone calls would come to me here at home. We were limited access to the office. There's 1 or 2 people in the office at a time for the first 4 or 5 months. This would have been very handy to have, because we can actually use it from anywhere as long as we have access to the internet. A cloud base. It has built-in GPS. So if we're out in the field, we see a complaint, we can take a photo of it. It tells a map. It maps out our inspection schedule, the whole kit and caboodle. So putting that in your mind to consider, I think the number is 1.2 or something.
We understand it's 1.15. We haven't seen anything official, and we're being told it's going to come in over a 2-year period, but we're waiting for the guidance on that.
Yeah, of course. So I just wanted to kind of get it in your heads, maybe to think about it, because it would I put it in my my
budget every year.
My budget last couple of years, and I think I think it would be nothing but good for the town to kind of make it a little easier for us to, and it is cloud based, so we will be able to use it as an interface for putting stuff on the internet. As we go. So just something to think about.
Yep, it is falls under infrastructure, so that sounds like it could work.
Yeah, it does.
And again, that'll be we'll have a full board meeting about that, and we can all start to weigh in with our concerns and our wants and woes, and try to move forward with that. Once we have some official stuff in hand, we'll be able to move forward with that. But thank you.
Hey Dave, I have a couple questions for you real quick.
Sure.
The first one is, I've been signing a lot of these vouchers, and I just want to make sure I'm sure you're on top of it. I just want to put it out there that these developers are
It's an escrow.
replenishing their amounts of money they have to have. What's it called? It just slipped my mind.
Escrow?
Yeah, the
Escrow
escrow
money?
accounts. Yeah.
Yep.
I know at one.
Yep. Yeah. Sarah works very closely with Kendra to make sure that the totals are always ahead. That wasn't always the case in the distant past. And we had to chase some people when I first came to the town. We are much more on top of it now.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that because these vouchers are getting pretty hefty there, and
Yep.
you know,
Yeah, it's a lot. We're pretty busy. We got a lot of work going on. So yeah, but all the developers are my policy is that they cannot appear before a board unless their escrow is to date and a little bit ahead. So and they all know that.
The other thing is you mentioned Mountainside Woods, and I know that we talked about certain units to be affordable, that they had to make them affordable. Did they designate what units are going to be affordable and what that's going to look like?
They have a plan. There is they do have a plan. So that's sort of my answer to you.
Could you find that out? Because, you know, the housing's so tough right now. And the whole idea of that is so local residents and especially employees of the town and people can stay here and live here. And the prices of real estate are just going through the roof. So I think that might be a nice incentive for some of our people that their project's getting to the end, you know, that some of our workers may be able to buy a home.
Sure. So I'll follow up on that. And this is something the town board should consider. There is no government agency that kind of manages the affordable housing in the town of Lloyd. It is a whole nother department, a whole nother level of government. There is no one to manage that. I know the town board once upon a time, you decided sort of out of the blue that you were going to name me to the contrary advice of Teresa Backner at that meeting. I am not the guy to do it. I don't have any experience in it. I don't have the resources for it. We talked about Mike Guerrero and I have talked to Rubco about coming in to do it for a fee. And there's been no movement on it. So, you know, I know there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of sort of people trying to think through the affordable housing piece. But there is, as I say, right now, it's a whole nother level of government that there is no one to manage at this point.
And Dave, I remember that meeting and I was one of the ones that believed it should have been Rubco, but you know, maybe but as of right now, you are the person, unfortunately. Well, we designated you, so you are.
Yeah, you can name me all day long, Joe, but that doesn't make me the case.
Now with all the construction.
One at a time, please.
Well, I just think that lately with everything that's going on, because I sit in those meetings, Dave's got a lot on his plate right now. Just saying.
No, but still, we need.
No, Joe, I'm just I'll make it relatively clear. I'm a civil servant and I have job descriptions, and that is not one of them.
Well,
so maybe you form a committee, Joe. Maybe the
board needs to revisit it since we appointed him. Maybe the board needs to come up with a plan together. Not Joe, not Claire, but the board. We talked about it. We had them come in. So maybe we need to look at that as a committee. But as for right now, we did appoint somebody, and you know you can grieve it if you believe it's not part of your job. But you can't not do it because that's insubordination. But that's another discussion.
So what you're saying, Joe, is that you're saying it's not my job, and I should grieve it.
I didn't say it's not my job. I said if you don't believe it's your job.
But it's not his job.
It is because you appointed him. You voted to appoint him, Claire. You did it.
Well, we could change. Well, we could revote then because right now Dave's got a lot on his plate. Joe, I sit on those meetings. It's insane right now.
So then we need.
And I know that you know that. That's the thing. I know that you know that.
Claire, we're not playing tit for tat.
I'm not being combative, and I'm sorry if I came out that way, Joe.
You are. And what I'm saying to you is, when we originally had the discussion, I said to go with Rubco. The board wanted not to do that.
I know, but I don't think that
I asked Dave a question. I asked Dave a question. I hear him. I believe he's correct. But you can't appoint somebody to something and nobody does anything with it. So if it's too much for him, then the board needs to revalue and relook at it, because what good is having a law if we're not enforcing it? If we're not going to have affordable housing, then let's get rid of the law.
Then I guess what I'll need to do next week is, let me speak. I guess what I'll need to do next week is reach back out to Rubco, because I wasn't on the board when that took place, and see if they have any, well, maybe they can start to give us some guidance.
Yeah, you know who that is? That's Guy. You got to talk to Guy.
Guy Kemp, that's right.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Dave, and I'm not putting you on the spot, I'm not looking to be argumentative. A couple weeks ago at a meeting, you said that there was 6 new projects coming down the pike, one of them being quite large. Because I've been waiting to hear what these projects are, and I haven't heard yet. Could you tell us what those projects are?
Sure. There's 2 new applications that came in today. One is for a light industrial building on Upper North Road, which is right next to where Red Barn is. The other one, I wish Sarah was on because I don't have it in front of me. The other one is a small lot line off Pancake Hollow. There is currently some discussion going on about the Plasma Co. building, which is the large building that I mentioned, the large project. They want to square that building off and use it as a warehouse. But the hiccup is out there is that it's going to be a ZBA and planning board application. Probably not simultaneous because there's no point doing the planning board piece if they can't get the relief because the building is so non-conforming in almost every capacity. That's what I mentioned that's what I said when I said it was going to be a big one because that's going to be a complicated sort of heavy lift because they're over coverage, they're over setbacks, they're over use. You know, it's a non-conforming use in the zone, so that's a heavy lift. There are 2 more subdivisions coming. There's Mr. Kuza has some work coming in, and sorry, it'll come to me in a second.
Well, Dave, quick question. Kusa is by me, or has he got more?
He's got
on the
more.
other side of me?
No,
It's on the
no,
other side.
no. It'll be out of Pancake Hollow.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got he has a farm out there. I think he's looking to do some stuff with.
Okay.
And that might be a little complicated because it may not be a straight subdivision. You know, multifamily is allowed in our residential zones, and I think that might be where he's going. But I don't have any plans for that yet. So the sort of you know, the sort of background discussion of, you know, I had someone show me the end of an article today. You know, that there was no record because there is no record of conversations. I don't write conversations down. So, now we have 2 new applications that anyone's welcome to take a look at.
Hey, Dave, is there any
So Dave, so I understand those are not formal applications yet, but they could be.
The other ones, yeah, I have 2 new ones that came in that'll be on the planning board for next week. The rest of them are informal discussions like I have every day.
Well, let us know. Let us hear about the real ones.
Well, I think we should know about the informals too, because, you know.
Well, we just did.
Well, yeah, we did, but it took 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Dave, the other thing, is there any, you know, that building on the old Mid-Hudson?
Joe, 1 second. I asked Dave to give me the new applications.
Yeah, the hearsay one.
One is the one on next to Red Barn. That's a light industrial building. That'll be a fairly, I think, not too complicated a project. You know, it's a box. It'll be a drive-through warehouse type thing. They'll circle around the back and then come out, you know, the side. I don't think that's going to be all that complicated. The other one is a lot line that Central Hudson is sort of initiating for a property that has overhead lines on it. They need access to the back of the property because there's huge rock outcroppings out there. I just had this conversation with the applicant today. The hiccup there is going to be that the flagpole that they're trying to create is only 15 foot wide, and our code requires 25. So.
And Dave, the last thing I just want to ask is, and you might not know anything, is the old Mid-Hudson Armor Car building and the old Freihofers. Is there any action going on? Because they're both in very bad disrepair, and you know we don't want to have another situation like we're having in the village with the building falling down. Have we gone and inspected them because they've been empty quite some time?
So, so the way the law reads is that we don't get to just kick in any doors. You know, we can go anywhere that a postman can go. So we regularly look at buildings that we think are vacant, and you know, sort of make a judgment call about whether they are imminent a risk of failure, and if they are not, then they get another however many times until we drive by again.
Thanks.
David, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Richie, highway. Can you hear us? Are you on? I think Richie's having a problem with volume.
His volume, yeah.
Okay, let me move on. We'll circle back if he comes back up. Jimmy, can you bring us up to speed this month with the police department?
You muted, Jim.
You're on, Jim. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Our activities for the month of March were 1,406 calls for service, 37 accidents, which included 9 personal injury, 28 property damage accidents. There were 105 tickets issued. Foot patrols conducted in the village and throughout the schools when the schools were open. Some of the activities we did during March were we started a fundraiser, wristband fundraiser, which you see my back desk. We're selling $5 a piece. All the proceeds are going to help the American Legion in Highland. So if anyone wants to see any, come see me. We got lots left. They're $5, and like I said, all the proceeds go to American Legion. March 3rd, the Town of Lloyd Police Reform and Reinvention Report Plan was approved by the town board and sent to New York State Finance Department as per Governor's executive order. We are in compliance. We met the deadline well in advance, and I'm very happy that we did it. March 18th, myself and Lieutenant Rollison attended a training on procedural justice for law enforcement executives. March 20th is a big update. Our body cameras are now in service, and the officers are wearing them. We also will be training with them and changing our policies at our departmental meeting next week on the 14th. The whole equipment and cameras and hardware and hookup cost about $10,000. None of this money came at a taxpayer's expense. All this money came from our drug seizure fund that we've been part of Virgin all these years. So basically using the bad guys' money to get equipment and combat crime with it.
What's that?
March 28th, we put 2 new laptops in 2 of our patrol cars. Our laptops in our cars are about 10 years old now. They're in there day in, day out. You know, all kinds of weather. They don't last long. So we got 10 years out of them. So we replace them as we go. We have 1 more to do, and it means all 5 patrol cars are equipped with new laptops. We investigated 2 pause complaints this month. We had 2 new Narcan uses. So to date, we've had 7 overdoses when Narcan was used and revived the individuals.
I'll take a look.
The good weather's out, so our patrol is going to be out. We are going to be enforcing laws on some roads that we have numerous complaints on, such as Bridgeview, Argent Drive, Paul's Road, Mayor Drive, and Perkinsville. So if you see us out there, we're doing details for stop signs and speed. So everyone be safe.
All right.
That's all I have.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you very much, Jim. Jim, I don't know if you have the date in front of you, but Margaret, Phil is doing a training.
Sexual harassment training.
And what do we have Margaret, the date and time?
It is May 6th. Let me just double check that.
I believe it is.
May 6th at 11 a.m.
At the firehouse, correct?
At the firehouse.
And that's mandatory for all of us.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going to give you a letter from my district that waives me from, because I already had it. I have it every year.
Thank you. Frank, we got a lot going on. Want to bring us up to speed with where we are this year with recreation and grounds? Hopefully we're going to have an semblance of a good year. It's all you. Frank, you're muted. There you go.
You should be good now, Frank.
Hello.
You're on. Yes.
Yep.
All right. Sorry about that. So
that's okay.
With summer fun in Berrien Park and swim lessons and everything, we are planning a go. We're trying to try everything that we've done in the past. The only thing with summer fun, we're not planning on Friday trips. We're going to be doing something in-house. So we're in the process of putting things together to do our programs like we've done in the past in the summer. As far as Berrien Park, if you get an opportunity, you've been up there. Lenny's been up there, but work on the pickleball, tennis court, basketball court is going on right now. Today they poured the foundations for the basketball and the poles for tennis and pickleball. So I'm hoping that in the next week or so, the fence will be up, the poles will be up, everything will be ready to go. And then in May, when the weather gets a little warmer at night, they're going to come and do the top coating and lining of the courts, and we'll be good to go. Once that's done, then we're going to do some landscaping up there around the pavilion area and the basketball court. And it's going to look nice. We're getting there. I know we have the gate coming, some fence work. I know there was guys up today getting rid of some trees. So we're going in the right direction there of getting things done. The town field, I have no update on the pavilion or anything like that, so we can talk about that at the end. But the grass and the infield, which we did last year, is coming in. And there are our schedule for the town field and Tony Williams Park is filling up the month of April at Tony Williams. Pretty much every day there is something going on there that is scheduled through me. Tony Williams, we fixed the goalposts on the football field. Both of them were leaning forward a bit, so we re-secured them. Also, the fence on the softball field was damaged from a windstorm about 2 weeks ago, so that's been fixed. Baker's helped us out there and got the poles back in, new poles in, so that's all done. This weekend, we have a doubleheader scheduled from Ulster Community College baseball on Saturday, and then we have a doubleheader Sunday with the Adult Wood Bat League. We have softball going on the weekends, so every day there it's going to be busy. As far as all the other parks, Steve and the crew, they're taking care of everything and getting everything cleaned up, from the winter. And before you know it, we're going to start mowing, and we'll go from there.
Hey, Frank, thanks for everything. It's Mazzetti. How are you? And you do a wonderful job with those programs. They're so quality, and the parks look great. But I have two questions. If you don't have the answer, it's totally okay. The first one is, last year we had some issues at Berry Ann Park. Do we need to think about our bylaws or any of our rules up there, or are we good enough if those issues reoccur?
As long as if you guys and myself, we agree that Berry Ann Park for swimming and for summer fun and for swim lessons is going to be Town of Lloyd residents, then that's what it'll be. Now, we can't control which Town of Lloyd residents go there. Okay?
Right.
The public park.
That. But, we had some Town of Lloyd residents. They were residents. And we gave them numerous warnings, and then we had to ban them from the park. Sean, do we need to put something in writing of what you'll have when you get banned, if we're going to do that again, just so we have something in writing?
I think if you're going to have rules and regulations, you should probably adopt them. You probably do it by resolution. But yeah, if you're going to have whatever those, I'm not sure exactly. I don't recall what happened last year. But yes, I think if you're going to have certain rules and regulations that you want to enforce, you should pass them by resolution and then have them visible so everybody's on notice as to what the rules and regulations are.
Right. So I think maybe to answer with Joe's question, maybe what we'll do in the next day or two with Frank is we'll get our current rules and regulations out to everybody so we can start to look at it and see where we may need to add or subtract, so that going forward we're in an alignment with the way we're thinking.
And Frank, again, I'm not putting you on the spot. So prior to last year, we used to let non-residents pay a fee, and you and I spoke about that. Are you recommending we go back to that? Because we have the rules.
I'm fine with it. I mean,
I'm fine with it too.
The only thing is, with Berry Ann Park, last year we did not charge. So if we're going to charge, that's fine. But, we're also going to be hiring people to do the tickets and things like that. So we're going to lose money on that, because by the time you pay somebody whatever it is now, $12-something an hour, times 8 hours, there's going to be days we're not taking that much money in. So, the days of concession stand being open and somebody running it, I don't believe are going to be happening much sooner.
Right. And does anybody have any interest in that concession stand right now?
No one has showed any interest in that concession stand in the last 2-3 years.
And I guess to chime in, and depending on where we are with COVID, when we get to the point where the park opens, we'll have the discussion whether it's residents only or we should open it up as we have in the past. But that's still a month or two down the road.
And last year I thought we let them bring it. We didn't really have any problem with the guests. It was actually town residents that caused the problem, right, Frank?
Town resident, I believe they were town residents, and they did not come back for the rest of the year.
Right. So because I think we let somebody, you could bring a friend. We did that. So if a grandmother had their grandchildren or something like that, or a friend come visit, they could use it. But I don't recall any incidents with anybody that was visiting.
I'd have to talk to Tommy Palazzo about that, but I don't believe there was anything,
right,
with that.
So let's see where we are. Let's see where we are next month, and then we'll look at what kind of guidance we're getting from the county, and we'll try to do the best we can.
Thanks, Frank. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Wendy, you're on.
Hi, good evening, everybody. So as the town clerk, we have started the process for the collection of the parking fees at 75 and 100 Haviland Road and Haviland Road. It's a really complicated process, and it's taking some time, but we are trying to get through it so that eventually you can collect those parking fees to help maintain those parking areas. As of taxes, we've collected $12,680,032.69 to date. Right now at unpaid level, we were at $1,251,805. And they're getting ready to submit that unpaid list to the county so that they can print the reminder bills, which will go out at the end of this month. Records, the shredded truck, as you know, is coming this weekend. That's when we destroy our old records. We have a retention and disposition schedule that we have to follow and document. So our previous, it's usually 6 years out, our previous records will be destroyed this weekend. And that's about it. Other than that, we're doing good. The residents are great. We've sold, I think, over 200 passes to the transfer station. Lots of fishing licenses. So well, it's all good.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Wendy? Seeing none. Adam, you're on. Would you like to bring us up to speed with water and sewer? I know we've been busy.
Yes, Fred, I have you guys on speaker, so am I coming through clearly?
Clear, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. First, I would actually like to make a comment, and please keep in mind, I'm not as well versed in this as Dave Barton is, but him and I have spoke about it briefly in the past as far as the municipal program goes and mapping of town utilities. If I could add my 2 cents, I believe that would be a good idea. I'm always looking for an opportunity. We've explored some in the past to try and map out collection and distribution systems. And I hadn't come up with a program that would really get off the ground or work. So if there's any way that I could help in that or participate, I would be more than happy to.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me start with our progress report. I'll start with water. Reservoir water is making up 90% of daily production. Our wells are still on timers and making up the remaining 10%. Our daily production time has decreased and is ranging between 10 and 12 hours per day. Some of the maintenance or some of the repairs and projects for the water department, we have completed the installation of the CL17 meter. This was a timely and extensive project. It's now currently working as it should. They've been doing spring maintenance, which includes the reactivation of water services at our town parks. They've been doing a lot of spring cleanup and other maintenances within the buildings. Moving on to the road crew. The crew is no longer limited by lack of personnel. They're a crew of 3 again. John Rockwell is now currently working as part of the road crew. He is skilled in this form of work and he's doing very well. The road crew made a new water service tap on the 8-inch main on Main Street. The old 4-inch service or the old service on the 4-inch line had failed and was leaking. We may have noticed some water running down the road last week. This crew is also very busy at this time of the year. They're doing maintenance, repairs, utility markouts are coming in by the pound. They're also doing spring cleanup. Our sewer department, daily operations continue as usual. They're also very busy with spring cleanup and maintenance. Today I put together an advisory. This was kind of based around the incident that took place yesterday with a clogged sewer main. Dave had spoke about that. So the advisory, I think, if you guys would like to take a look at it, it's probably something we should post on the social media website for the town. If you'd like, I can go through it really quick.
Sure.
No?
Floor is yours.
Okay. So if you guys want to take a minute to read through it, and I guess we could talk about it later. This is in regards to sewer mains and what happens with tree roots. So, I mean, I guess that's pretty much all I have today. If there's any questions.
Adam, thank you. Any other questions for Adam? Under supervisor, just so everybody knows, I've been speaking with some of the board members and other towns. We expect to try to go with a live meeting starting on May 5th, which is our workshop. Continue guidance from the county health department, and details will follow. Lenny and I will figure out how many people we can have in the meeting room. So we've got the rest of the month to work this up, but we expect to be live on May 5th, just so everybody knows that. Because hopefully the ship has sailed. Any old business to come before the town today?
Yeah, I have a question for Sean. It's Mazzetti. Hey, Sean, and if you don't have the answer, you know, we talked about that sidewalk extension going down Commercial from the rail trail. That's not on Commercial, but it's just that little side. And, you know, the developer wanted to give us 5,000. We decided that he was on the hook for the whole thing. We found out. What's the progress on that?
I'd have to defer to Dave on that. Dave was going to reach out to the developer because I think we're asking him to build the sidewalk, not make a monetary contribution.
Before Dave speaks, I do know that the engineers engineered the project and in detail gave us, which has been passed on to him, a cost estimate what it would be for him to build the project. But Dave may or may not have some information on that.
I do have some information. Would you like to hear it?
Absolutely, Dave.
Great. So we've been in contact with the developer of Highbridge, and he is inclined to write a check. The complicated piece now is figuring out how to affect that transfer of money. So I'll talk to Sean again. He is talking to his attorney as to how to affect this the best way. But that's where we are.
Okay.
What's the amount that he's going to write the check for, Dave?
I'm not writing the check, Joe. I don't know what he's going to write a check for.
Joe, I'll make sure that information went out once. I'll make sure you get it because the engineers developed that number. It was kind of a little healthy, but as we thought. But I'll make sure you get that number.
Yeah,
so
I just want to make sure it's the right number and not 5,000 that he wanted.
The $5,000 ship sale.
Yeah, I know.
So Freddie, to clarify, the number that Ted came up with was the town's cost.
That's if we had to build it.
Yeah, the prevailing wage. So
Right.
The applicant still has the option of building it. So if he writes a check to someone to build it, he still has that way forward. So I don't know what the number is. I'm not writing the check. But we're working with the developer to get it done.
Okay, Dave, if he's hiring somebody to build it, then he's not writing a check. He's doing the job. Whereas if he's writing a check, he's telling us to do the job. That means it'd be our prevailing wage.
Well, I'm gonna guess that the contractor he hires to do the work is gonna want a check.
Well, yeah, so he's hiring somebody to do the job. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Any other old business? Seeing no new business to come before the board this evening. Okay, seeing none, privilege of the floor. Would anybody like to speak to the board at our workshop about workshop material? Okay, Wendy, would you proceed with motions and resolutions, please?
I have to say that Maureen Flaherty raised her hand.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Okay, hello. Am I
Okay,
unmuted?
Maureen, you have the floor.
Thank you. If this is not the correct time for this comment, just let me know. But my name is Maureen and I am the secretary of the Bridgeview Homeowners Association. And this is just a follow-up to an email that I sent on March 30th regarding the zoning board meeting minutes. As I think everyone is now aware that the Bridgeview community felt a bit blindsided by the Silver Gardens project. And so since that time, I've been trying to get up to date and looking at the zoning board to try and find information on upcoming projects and different variances that have been approved. And that's when I noticed that there were no zoning board meeting minutes on the website for the past maybe 2 years, since 2019.
Claire, you're muted.
Can you hear me? Okay. And then
Maureen, I'll speak to that, and then we're, as you know, Lenny and I have a meeting scheduled with the Bridgeview at 1:30 on Friday that we can certainly address this. But I do know that last year we had an issue where we lost one secretary and we lost the second secretary, and there was a monumental problem with personnel in Kingston to try to even get us a list down here so that we can hire somebody off of the list. That now has been filled. We have both secretary filled, but that's something we can certainly address and talk about on Friday.
okay, I just wanted to bring it because I didn't receive any reply to my email, so I just wanted to bring it up in front of the group. Okay.
And we'll come up with maybe a more direct way of communication, and we look forward to having it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much, Maureen.
Bye-bye.
Back to resolutions. Unless there's somebody else's hands waving. Seeing none, Wendy, resolutions, please.
Okay, resolution A, motion to approve the minutes of the town board meeting. Where is that coming from?
Well, actually, what people that aren't talking should probably mute themselves.
Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes of the town board March 17, 2021 regular town board meeting and March 31 special town board meeting.
Do I have a motion?
I'll motion it.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried.
Aye.
So carried. Resolution B.
Resolution for the town board to accept the resignation of Mark Schaff, senior water, what's that? Did somebody correct me? Was it Schraff? Was it Schaff? Senior WTPO Water Sewer Department effective April 8th, 2021 due to retirement.
Motion.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And
Aye.
to say, we wish Mark a great retirement and thanks for the years of service.
Yes. The next resolution, Wendy.
Resolution for the town board to accept the resignations of John Bank, court officer effective March 22nd, 2021.
Do I have a motion?
Motion. I'll motion it.
Is there a second? Was that you, Lenny?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Next.
Resolution for the town board to hire Harry Rosario as court officer at $25 per hour effective March 29th.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried. Resolution C.
Motion to allow vendors on the Hudson Valley Rail Trail from the walkway over the Hudson entrance west to the emergency access gate at Haviland Road for the Hudson Valley Rail Trail and Friends of the Walkway over the Hudson Mayfest event on Saturday, May 8th and Sunday, May 9th at the request of Peter Belizzi, president of the Hudson Valley Rail Trail Association.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll just speak to that briefly. We expect to have some information delivered to the board at our regular meeting from the walkway and rail trail to bring us up to speed as to the ins and outs and the wheres and whys of this May 8th and May 9th Springfest. So we're looking forward to that. Resolution D.
Hang on one second. Resolution D, to accept the resignation of John G. Rockwell III from the Town of Lloyd Highway Department effective 3/26/21 at the approval and request of Richard Klotz, Highway Superintendent.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion.
And I motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 So carried. Resolution E.
Resolution to approve the following seasonal hires for the Recreation Department's summer programs. Roseanne Lesser as Summer Fun Arts and Crafts Director at $3,600 for the season. Chris Osterman as Summer Fun Sports Camp Director for 3 weeks at $1,800. Frank Alfonso Jr. as Summer Fun Sports Camp Director for 3 weeks at $1,800. And Tom Palazzo, Berrien Park Waterfront Director at $4,500 for the season, at the recommendation of Frank Alfonso, Recreation Director.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so carried. Next.
Motion to appoint Charlie Long to the Water and Sewer Committee, effective immediately.
Motion.
I motion in a second. All in favor?
Discussion.
Aye.
Discussion.
I'm sorry, back up. Discussion. Go ahead, Joe.
Just, did we post this or no?
I think it came from water. It came direct from water and sewer. I don't know.
Are we supposed to post for our vacancies and get people to interview for them?
We usually do that when we're talking about planning board, zoning board, and thing. I've not done that before for any other department.
So Fred, Franco's on. Let him speak to it. Franco?
Oh, I'm sorry. Franco, would you speak to this, please?
Yeah, good evening, guys. How are you doing? What happens is we have an even number of members, and because of the way that we vote on things, we actually need an odd number. Bob Post, we reached out to him earlier in the year during reorg in January. He expressed some concern but never submitted a letter to the town board that he wanted to be reappointed. And when I reached out to him again, I never got an answer. So going forward, I would like to just fill a position.
So this is time sensitive.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just for the remainder of the year.
Right. And, and the only reason I bring it up is Charlie's a great guy. And I'm not saying anything, but he's a great guy. Just he's already on one committee, and I just would like other people. You know, it's hard to get people for committees. I get that, but you know, maybe other people that want to get involved, and this may be an opportunity. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Do we have a vote?
Charlie's on a board, right? Isn't he on?
Yeah, he's on a board. He's not on any other committee. And
do I have a motion? Do I have a motion?
Right. Motion.
We have Ahmoudi Winslow.
Yep. You want to?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried. Resolution F.
Whereas the town of Lloyd by its events committee has organized spring market to be conducted on the town field on May 15th of 2021. And whereas Hudson Ale Works of 17 Milton Avenue in Highland and Bad Seed Cider of 43 Bailey's Gap Road in Highland are planning on attending and have requested permission from the town board to sell beer and or hard cider at said event in a designated roped off area. And whereas the town board is in desirous of granting the said permission to said businesses as requested. Now, therefore, it is to be resolved as follows, that the Hudson Ale Works and Bad Seed are hereby granted special permission to sell, serve beer or hard cider, I'm going to have to add that in there, at the town field in a designated roped off area on Saturday, May 15th, 2021. Further be resolved that this special permission is contingent upon Hudson Ale Works and Bad Seed Cider providing documentation to the town that they have obtained the requisite permits and or licenses from New York State Liquor Authority and that they have the necessary insurance in place.
Motion.
Who made the motion?
Both, I think me and Lenny are, I don't know.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Resolution G.
Whereas the town board has recognized the community benefit of enhancing access and elderly visitors to both the Hudson Valley Rail Trail and the connecting Walkway State Park, and has previously received information from the Friends of the Walkway of the Hudson and the Poughkeepsie Highland Railroad Company regarding funding to improve parking, paving, lighting, signage, and handicapped spaces for the 2 parking lot areas under the control of Town of Lloyd located at 75 and 100 Haviland Road. And whereas the funding has been awarded to the project sponsor to fund such improvements as a collaboration with the Town of Lloyd and Hudson Valley Rail Trail. Whereas CPL Architects, Engineers and Surveyors has reviewed the short environmental assessment form part 1 prepared by the project sponsor for the project. And whereas the project site locations are under the control of the Town of Lloyd, and therefore the Town of Lloyd should be the lead agency for the project. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Lloyd declares itself lead agency in an uncoordinated review of the project known as Walkway Western Access Enhancement Program. After review of the short environmental review forms part 1 and 2, the Town Board has completed a secret review as an unlisted action and has determined that based on the information and analysis of the project, the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. Pursuant to Article 8, State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEEKR, of the Environmental Conservation Law and 6 NYCRR Part 617, the Town of Lloyd Town Board, as the lead agency, makes the following findings. The requirements of 6 NYCRR Part 617 have been met, and consistent with social, economic, and other essential considerations, the action avoids or minimizes adverse environmental impacts to the maximum extent practicable, and that adverse impacts will be avoided or minimized to the maximum extent of practicable by the incorporating as conditions to the decision those mitigative measures that were identified as practicable. I challenge any one of you to do this for me.
And the
Town
allergies are going
Board
to kill us.
declares a declaration of termination of no significance, a neg deck. The project shall be funded from grants received from the project sponsor town specifically for this project.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
A motion and I have a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. They're gonna be, we're just not, by them doing this and paying for some of this or the whole thing, we're not giving any control up, is that correct? 'Cause we don't want to be like,
You're 100% correct.
I just want to make sure, because I don't want to end up like what Lenny has to deal with the park, with the lights, with Scenic Hudson.
No.
You know what I'm
No.
saying?
No, you're 100% correct.
All right.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 0, so carried. I think that concludes our resolutions. Seeing no other business before the town today, have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Margaret, you still on?
I'm getting up now, just leaving the meeting. Bye.
Bye.